You dancing, Erica?
Hey, you guys, and welcome to another amazing episode of Talkers versus Doers. As y'all see, every time we jump on, we are having fun and we're just enjoying ourselves because it's always fun. We're able to bring out awesome information, and I'm so excited. I have this awesome king, Mr. Hakim, and to kind of tell you a little background before we even get started, because I got to jump into this. Before the podcast even really got going, Mike, I had been doing different things on social media, and he reached out, was like, "Hey, so you got a podcast? I need to be on your podcast." I was like, "Okay, I'm getting together." Like, he had just been so persistent, and I love it because when you have growing business and growing entrepreneurs, we're really there working for each other and making sure that we're providing our knowledge to the community. So before everything, I just had to acknowledge you on that part and just say thank you for that part. But
hey, that's what's up. I love it.
Yeah, I thank you for having me here. I told you I wanted to be here. So I'm
He's
excited.
saying it, and I know he about to bring it too. Because as y'all know, Talkers versus Doers. Not only do we talk about every aspect of the social aspect of entrepreneurship, but we also highlight great people. And not only are we highlighting, but we're letting him talk about some amazing things that I'm excited to hear, especially home ownership, being a part of the home ownership world as a real estate agent. He's going to give you guys some amazing information. So I'm going to stop talking and let you dive in. I just want to welcome
before we do that, bro, that's that. Like I told you, bro, before we got started, rolling, we look, it's like when you take the driver's test or when you do the driver's course class. But do they even do that anymore?
I know they
when you used to have the simulcast and they can control it too. So I had to be like in the passenger side. I had to hit the passenger side, hitting the brakes and stuff. You ain't gonna tell folks who we are, Erica. You know what I'm saying? Before we get into bro and all his awesomeness.
Yeah, I surely did. On it because I just wanted to go in because I know he got some great stuff. But Mike wanted us to go in. Go ahead, Mike. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. So I'll do it. Since okay, we hear you talk about bro, but who are you? Who are y'all? Who? Anyway,
I'm so excited for the guest shout. I be forgetting about all about us. I be excited for the guests.
So look, we got none other than the one and only Coach Perry in the house. EP, Miss Psychology. You know what it is. Look, if y'all are not following her already, what are you waiting on? So check her out. Make sure you check her out on social media. And your boy, Coach Mike, I'm here. We here, Talkers versus Doers. And now we'll get into it like we supposed to do. Bro, look, just take a moment, man. We want you to take a moment to introduce yourself. Tell people, because Erica told me a little bit about you, and she just shared with the audience, like, your drive already. So I'm excited from the jump, somebody that says, hey, look, you doing something good. I want to be a part of it. So bro, take a moment and tell everybody who you are.
Great, man. So my name is Hakim Mustafa. I'm originally from Baltimore, Maryland. Right now I stay in Atlanta, Georgia. So, I've been transitioning from the north. I just get further and further south. From Baltimore, I moved to South Carolina. Been there for a while. Now I'm in Georgia, still pretty new, about 11 months in. Just down here connected with people working, and I came down here for more opportunity. That's the whole point of being down here, right? From a early age, I always been into like entrepreneurship, right? I didn't understand what it was, but I always been into it now looking back, right? Ever since elementary school, man. I went to Liberty Elementary up in the city, and I always used to sell things. I needed money, right? Because we didn't really have a lot of money, right? Broken home. So, mom over here, dad over here, kind of bouncing in between the two for a while. So I would go to school. I'd take my video games. I would take them. I would wash them off real good. Fix the case up. I'd take them to school and sell my used video games. That way I could buy some new ones, right?
Wow.
Because my parents just couldn't afford to just buy me video games when I wanted to. So, and I would just do that cycle. Every time I wanted some new video games, I just clean it up. You know how you had to clean up the PlayStation disc and all of that. You clean it up, make sure the case is straight. Take out the little, little packet, the little information packet that come with the game, whatever it's called. Put it in a new case. Take it to school. Hey man, I got this game for sale. What's up?
Wow.
And then at the end of the week,
wow,
at the end of the week, I get my oldest brother to take me to GameStop, so I go buy some new video games or Funko Land or wherever we went to go buy games. So
wow.
It kind of started there, and then it transitioned into used tennis shoes and T-shirts, And then it went to the burning the CDs, you know. In middle school, I was burning CDs. I had CDs going. Boom. I used to buy my, you know, my Air Force Ones, my bubble jacket, my flight jackets and stuff like that.
Right.
You know, the belts with the rhinestones in it with your name on it, all kind of stuff like that.
Let's
You
go.
know? So it's always been like, you know, what could I do to make some money without having to always ask for money, you know?
Mm.
And I know I can sell something, whether, you know, if it's new or owned, pre-owned, whatever the case may be, somebody wants it. You know, there's always a market for everything. You just got to find the right people. So I'm like, man, I take this, somebody gonna buy it, and I'm gonna go get what I want. And that's just always been my thing.
I
So, you
love
know,
it. I love it. You
Wow.
gotta keep that quote too. It's always a market for everything. You just
Yes,
go do it.
it's
You
oh
know.
it's
yeah,
crazy. We were both thinking that same thing when you said
Ding,
that.
ding,
I
ding.
I was thinking the same thing. Like, come on, run that back.
yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
gems. That's
Yes,
gems,
yes,
people. I hope y'all
definitely.
heard that.
I love it. And I think that what a lot of us as entrepreneurs, we grew up having something that we did or we pushed into that already told us, hey, we was gonna be an entrepreneur. We was gonna do something like I was also make count pennies in the store. My siblings hated it, they didn't like it. But now I can count money real good at different aspects in business.
There you go. There you go. It
Mm.
starts
So
from
Yeah.
a
we
young age.
all had something like, man, I gotta get it. So with that being said, I know you said, you know, just making it happen and doing things. Now kind of gravitating to like what pushed you more. I know you said a single parent home, you
Hmm.
know, had other things. Were there any other things that kind of push you to say, okay, I gotta continue this entrepreneurship world that I'm doing?
Just it's just my whole life, man. You know, I've worked jobs. I worked a lot of jobs, right? From an early age as well. And being on the clock, I think my first job actually punching the clock. I was either 13 or 14. I worked part time for like this real estate company. I used to help do the mailers, right? I would they had these things came in the mail. People whose homes about to get foreclosed on, and so I had to fold them up, put them in the envelopes. You know, I had to seal them up, mail them all out, do a couple hundred a day. And then I worked at Subway as well, right? So I'm like 13, 14 working at Subway, sandwich artist. And it was fun. It was cool. You get to talk to people, make some money. But at the end of the week, I was like, man, that's all the money I got.
Right.
You know, it's not a lot. You know, I buy one pair of shoes, it's over with. But I did that a lot faster with the CDs. You know, I did this in a day.
Wow. Yeah.
Definitely.
So just knowing that, okay, I can make a lot more money if I have other things to offer besides just working for somebody else, and
Mm,
always seeing how much money is in the cash register versus what I get to take home. It's like, man, this ain't cutting it. You know.
I love it.
Um, Also coming up, I went to prison at an early age too. So I had my first kid when I turned 19. And then my lady was also pregnant when I went to prison. She was a couple months pregnant. So I had my son when I was in prison, right? And so I was in there then trying to figure out, okay, what's next, right? What am I going to do next? Because I graduated high school, which was good. I didn't continue basketball like I wanted to, right? And I really had no passion to go to college. I was like, the only reason I wanted to go to college was to play basketball. That's it.
Right.
Hmm.
So I was in there trying to figure out like what am I going to do? And so I had notebooks, right? And I would always write down ideas. If I seen something in a magazine or a book, I would write down ideas, things to research, things to look up. And when I got out, I did 5 years in prison. So by the time I got out, I had tons of notebooks and notes. And my dad said he never seen anybody get out of jail with so many books. Everybody else was coming out with food. I had a whole box and bag full of books, you know.
Wow.
That
Knowledge,
was my thing.
knowledge.
Yeah, that's all I did. I read and worked out. That's really it. You know, I sharpened my brain. I was trying to figure myself out. I was learning about myself, learning who I am, what I like, the kinds of things I wanted to get into. And I realized, you know, business overall is where it's at. Business and investing is where it's at.
Mm.
Um,
Wow.
yeah, even though I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do, I just know I need to learn business and investing. Right. So long story short, when I got out of prison, I was trying to figure out, okay, what am I going to do next? Right. I'm 24 years old. I just did 5 years in prison. I have two kids. They real young. How am I going to provide for my family? I don't have a college degree or anything. So one of the first things I got out of prison with like $3,000. And one of the first things I did, I got my license back and then I got Wi-Fi. I went to Walmart, bought me a phone. I started doing research, and then I signed up for college. So it's like my first steps.
Wow.
I have to do something, right? Um, I love technology. I was trying to get used to Facebook and stuff because I didn't, I didn't know what Facebook. I didn't have Facebook before I went in, so I was trying to get used to Facebook and all of that, playing on the phone. And when I signed up for school, I signed up for information technology. I was like, well, I can at least make six figures at least in that field, in the IT field, right? And then from there, just continue to go up and up and up. So as I was doing that, I was also back on the entrepreneur path. I started, selling body oils, selling natural soaps and incense and shea butter. And I was mixing it up and whipping it up and going to school and going to work, my full-time job, my
He's
part-time
doing it
job.
all, yeah. He's doing it all.
Everything.
Hey,
I was going crazy.
hustler, grinded. I love it. I love it, man.
Yeah. So, doing that and just working and doing that. So I'm at work, I'm selling my products at work, putting money in my pocket. I'm getting my paycheck. I'm handling my homework. I'm making sure my kids straight. And I just kept that cycle going. Now this path that I'm on now, the credit journey, right? This is interesting how this happened. So in the mix of all these things, while I'm out trying to get my money together, first I was a server in the little restaurant. They actually opened up 2 weeks after I got out of prison. So I got the job on the second day of them opening just because they needed help. And I happened to walk in to get something to eat. And the guy was like, hey, man, I had already told them, say I need a job. I didn't tell my guy out of prison because I felt like I might not get the job. So I ordered something to eat. He said, hey, man, you still want to work? Yes. What would you do? What you want to do? I was like, man, I'd do anything. It doesn't matter. Would you want to bust tables? Man, I don't care. Whatever. All right. Hey, grab this, grab the rag and let's get it because the dining room was packed. Okay, cool. So I'm just running around, busting tables, taking little drink orders. I didn't know the menu. And that's how I got my job. They see my work ethic.
Wow.
You hired, man. You got it. Okay, cool. So while I'm working there and busting tables and I start serving and, I get my little tips and I was putting that change together. Right. So now I need to get a car. So I went to a little buy here, what's it called? Buy here, pay here place. And I gave them the money that I had. I think I gave them what $13 or $1,500. I'm scraping after every shift, all my money is going towards one thing. I have to get a car. Right. I gave them that money. I never bought a car off the lot before, ever in my life. I went by myself. So I gave them that money. I didn't realize the car had 180,000 miles, older car. Less than 30 days, that car was gone. It had recalls on it and everything. The little the driving thing locked up on me, swerved in a ditch, total loss. Boom. That's the 30 days. So I'm like,
wow.
Man, I'm out of like $1,300, man. It hurt. So now, I got to go get another car. I scraped together $800. I went to another dealership. I'm not gonna call it name because I don't know how that's gonna, fail on the podcast. But I went to another dealership. Zero credit. I'm 24 years old. I have zero credit. I got $800, and I'm like, look, I just need a car. Right? Doesn't have to be the flyest car. I don't need a Porsche or Benz. I'm trying to get to work and get my kids to and from school. That's it.
Right.
I was presented with two options. You get this 2014 Hyundai Elantra, basic, or you can get this, I think it was a 2013 or 14 Ford Taurus. Right? Okay, cool. I'll take the Elantra. That's fine. Sticker price $14,000. I'm like, okay, I might stomach that. Me and my little cousin, we the last ones at the dealership. Nobody's talking to us about finance options, APRs, nothing. Right? He's just like, yeah, you can get this car. Let me see your pay stub. Showed it to him. Hey, you got any money for a down payment? I'm like, man, all I got is $800, man. That's it. All right, you can use that as a down payment. I didn't know that wasn't really going to help. I would have kept my $800. I swiped my bank card. He took my $800 off. Okay, cool. So now he's like, well, you got the Hyundai, man. Your monthly payment is going to be $463.11. And I was like, $463?
Wow. Yeah.
And bro, not to mention that was half of what you walked in there with, like to your name. For a monthly payment.
I struggled for that. So I'm like, it hit me hard. I'm like, man, $463 a month. That's not even counting insurance and gas and everything else, right? So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna stomach it. I think, I might be able to pull this off, man. I need a car regardless, right? So I just stomached it, drove off. So about 3 days later, little birdie got my ear from somewhere. I don't know. I still say his God spoke to me and let me know, hey, you need to look at that paperwork, right? Because while we doing the paperwork, we was doing it on the screen on a little iPad. They was like, oh, just sign here, sign here, sign here. I'm like, okay, cool. Trying to hurry up and get out of here. It's like 10 o'clock at night, right? 3 days later, I look at the paperwork. I still don't know what I'm looking at. It's just a lot because they printed it all out. It's just a lot of papers. I'm just kind of flipping through, trying to see what it all says. And I seen the car was 14,000. I seen my down payment 800 was taken out, and then it said finance charges. I'm like, what is that? $18,000. I'm like, hold up, hold up. They charged me $18,000 to finance a $14,000 car. That can't be right. My total was $32,000 off of a $14,000 basic car.
Wow. Wow.
Because I had no credit. That thing hurt, man.
I'm sure.
It hurt.
Woo. Bro,
So once I started, go ahead.
I was just gonna say with that. No, I was just gonna say with that, man. Like I'm loving you really setting up this story and telling it because it's the background of you're bringing to light already. You're really dropping some gems. It's bringing to light already how important it is for people to know this stuff going into, because think about it, right? We all can attest now as we look back, being an adult, right? We look back and say, man, ain't nobody tell me like I didn't know this, I didn't know that. So you telling this story, man, and definitely want you to get back to it, but you telling this story just really for the viewers, and especially Eric and I, we have a passion for the youth. And so I just really hope that parents, coaches, teachers, that you share this interview, share this with your youth, because this is so important what you're sharing, and knowing that this, that shock of, wait a minute, charged, not add on, not an additional 4,000, but the charge for financing because you had no credit. So this is, man, this is so important, and it could be life changing for that one person, right? Like what we do, talkers versus doers. Really, if we can just impact that one person, each one teach one, each one reach one. So I appreciate it, man. I just had to jump in there, like, man, people listening.
Yeah, this is the real life, man. It hit me so hard, and so I was so caught off guard, man. I'm a research person, right? So after I seen that, I was like, okay, what can I do about it? Like, is there a way I can get up out of this? Because there's no way, like, I don't know if I can really sustain this for a long term. You tell me 18,000 in finance charges alone. We talking about 32,000. I remember seeing all these commercials on TV saying you could get the 2022, like right now, you get the 2022 C-Class Benz, blah, blah, blah. You can lease it for $300. So I'm like, why am I paying this much money for a basic Hyundai?
Yeah.
If I pay this much, I want to ride something nice too. Like, that's just how I feel about it. I'm the type of person, I want a private jet, so I can't pay this much for a Hyundai. It's like,
come on, say that, bro.
Yeah, I want a private jet. So what happened was I started doing research, right? I started digging into it, trying to see what I can do. And then I started learning about credit. Okay, how do you start building credit? How is this thing even possible? How can I get out of this situation? So as I'm learning about credit, how to start building credit, what do I need to do? I start going through the blueprint, right? It's very simple if you actually if you don't have credit, it's very easy to start building credit. Now, if you have bad credit, it's a different ball game. You got some things you got to fight. But when you don't have any credit, start building credit. That's just being consistent, right? You get a couple things in there and you be consistent, long story short. And I actually just dropped the ebook about understanding personal credit. Very easy to understand for everyday person, and it's free right now on my website. So I give the link for that. So anybody wants to download it, right? Because I told them one day my value is gonna be so high. I mean, you're gonna be mad that you didn't get the free gems.
Say that, bro. You better catch me before the price go up. Come on, bro.
You better catch me before that price go up. Like Fat Joe said, today's price is not yesterday's price.
Come on, say that.
Yeah, for sure. So when I started building my credit, I started seeing, I started monitoring it while I'm building it, right? I got a little credit card in my name, secure card in my name. I started, learning how to use it the right way, right? As I'm seeing, now I have a credit score. I'm getting excited. I'm like, oh, I got some credit now, right? So now I'm learning how to maintain maintain good credit by also building credit. So as I'm doing that
Mm.
and I'm seeing my score go up, I start seeing offers in the mailbox, right? Hey, get this credit card. Hey, get this credit card. I'm really getting excited. I'm like, oh, they trying to give me stuff. Okay. I must be doing the right thing because I never got mail like this before in my life, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm getting stuff coming to mail say, hey, you pre-qualified to refinance. I'm like, what is that? What's a refinance? So now I start digging. Oh, refinance. So that's how I could get out of this car loan? Bad. Let me figure out how this works, right? So after a year, my credit score was almost a 700, right? From no credit to almost a 700, right? So then I called the credit union who sent me this thing about a refinance. I'm talking to them. So they telling me, how refinance goes. Basically, they buy that loan, right? However much you owe, they're going to pay that off and put you on a new loan. So I'm like, yeah, it can't get no worse than 32,000, So when they bring the numbers on it, they say, well, look, this is what we can do. We could chop off $200 a month. So now I'm down to $263. My brain, I'm like, 200 times 12. I'm saving a lot of money,
Right.
Okay, cool, let's do it. So now I went from paying a total of 32,000 for this car to a total of 16,000, right? So we chopped that in half. My interest rate went from like 18, 19%, whatever it was, to a 2.99% interest rate on the car. And I'm paying $200 less per month. I didn't have to make a car payment for 3 months. I was the happiest guy in the world. You couldn't tell me nothing. You couldn't tell me
Man, for
anything.
real.
So that's when I realized so many people are getting taken advantage of because they don't have credit or they have bad credit. It's one or the other. Most people in our communities, they have bad credit and they don't know it and they don't know anything about credit to fix it. So most people in our communities, if you talk to them and ask them, how much you paying for the car, they'll proudly say, I'm paying $400 or $500.
Yeah.
And they think that that's a good thing, but it's not. Right? It sounds good when you're trying to impress somebody. Oh, I pay $500 a month, but really you paying a bunch of interest. You're making them
Right. Not to mention, bro, you paying $500, $600 a month for that Hyundai Elantra when somebody's
exactly.
riding by you in that C300 that they
and they're paying $300.
$350 for. Yeah.
$350. The difference, right?
Right.
So it's mind blowing. It's mind blowing to me, and a lot of people don't understand it, and that's why my passion for credit is just so huge. Okay. Because now I start to understand. When that happened, I understood, we're getting taken advantage of. My parents were taken advantage of. My mom was taking advantage. She was paying $500 something for an expedition. You know what I mean? My grandparents were taking advantage. All of us were taken advantage of because we didn't understand credit and understand, how important it is and how to use it, how to leverage that in our everyday lives. So we get taken advantage of. And we overpay for every single thing. And we just make these bigger banks and these, financial institutions, we make them richer. And they just robbing us. That's it.
Yep.
I love it. I love it that you took that time frame to actually look into it and study and say, okay, how can I make a difference? How can I make this better for me and my family? Because a lot of people don't do that, especially like you said, getting out of prison, having kids. Their focus is, what can I do to just continue to make myself better? Not let me look into this. It's like, okay, I got a car. I need to go to work. I need to do this. But you said, no, let me sit and evaluate this. How can I get out of this? And it goes back to that knowledge that you had the time to sit also and read while you was in prison to know and pull yourself like, look, I'm not just going to be taken advantage of. I need to do something. Right. So with that being said, after getting that information, seeing that about the car, kind of fast forward and tell them now, like, detail what all you do with credit. I know they're excited to hear about all different aspects because you guys, he work on various ways to help build it. So just giving that information.
Yeah, so now what we do, for people who need to repair their credit, we help them with the credit restoration process, right? So that way we can erase all the negative items that's off their credit report. Just came out 2 or 3 days ago that the credit bureaus are actually going to be removing over $1 billion worth of medical bills off of credit reports nationwide. So there's gonna be a lot of people that's about to be blessed by getting those removed without even going through the process, right? That's major because they realize most of these medical bills are from emergencies that people are not in a position to pay. That's just what it is, right?
Yeah.
A lot of those about to get wiped out anyway. But we do a sweep all these negative items, erroneous items. We leverage the Fair Credit Reporting Act and we erase those. Now it's twofold. Credit restoration is twofold, and a lot of people don't understand it. So I'm glad you brought this up. Credit restoration is when you taking the negative items off, but you're also working on building credit at the same time. So a lot of people have a misconception that, hey, I'm gonna remove these items and I'm gonna have a perfect credit score. It doesn't work like that. You can have a bunch of negative items on your credit report and have nothing good reporting for you, and you still have bad credit because you don't have anything saying, hey, I'm a good paymaster, right? So some of the things that we have a secure card that you can get. Is very flexible. You can put as little as $10 on it, up to $10,000 on it. I recommend $200 to $300, but everybody can't do that at the same time, right? Once you get that secured credit card, in as little as 4 months, you can go from secured, meaning you put money on it, to unsecured, meaning it's an unsecured loan. They give you your money back and then increase your credit limit. This is the fastest secured card I've ever seen, where you could go from secured to unsecured. Most cards are 6 months to a year. This one is as little as 4 months. You can get an unsecured card. Now, what this does is you have a positive trade line reporting for you. You have control over it. So as long as you're using it the right way, you're spending the right way, it's going to help you, right? Now, once it goes to unsecured, you still have that same trade line. Now it's getting seasoned, which means you had it for a while. The longer you have it, the better it is for your credit, right? Because that's part of your score.
Right.
A lot of people try to jump that process by just getting a trade line. The thing is, you don't have control over that trade line. At the same time, you still need something in your name saying, hey, I use this. This is mine. I have control over it, to help you start to build that. Because 10 years down the line, you don't have that trade line, or it's removed from your credit report. All that history it doesn't matter anymore. It's gone. So that's one way. And it has cash back, So it's a secure card with cash back. A lot of different perks that credit cards have. Another way is we add people's rental history to their credit report, which most people don't even know is possible.
Say that again. Like all the promos out there.
So we add your rent to your credit report. So every single month that you pay that rent, and you busting your butt working hard to get that rent money, and you paying that rent, and it's not reporting for you, now you can report it on your credit report. This is the closest thing to a mortgage that you're going to get on your credit report. Now, your car payment shouldn't be that high, right? We've got some high car payments out there, but your car payment and your mortgage should not look, your rent should not look the same, And so when you go to apply for a mortgage, they see you've been paying rent on time for a year, for 2 years, that puts you in a better position to get approved, because they're like, okay, they can actually, they're responsible. They've been paying this for a year or two already, on time every single month. This is the closest thing to a mortgage, right? So it puts you in a position to win. And every month you're paying, you get rewarded. Like, your score continues to get go higher and higher. Your credit profiles look stronger and stronger. So that's another thing. We can report from now, every single month that you're paying. We can actually go back a year or two. If you've been renting for a year or two, we can put all that past history on there as well. So think about 12 to 24 on-time payments of your rent being reported to your credit report.
Huge.
To all my clients, are you ready to buy or sell? I am ready to serve you. All you gotta do is go on this website.
Right, for real.
August, so let's go.
So
I love that.
Those are two major ways to start building your credit report, man. Is the secure credit card and adding your rent, and there's some other things in between you can do. You know what I mean? But it's really all about having positive trade lines in your name. It's positive accounts that you're paying on, right? Credit card, car loan. Some people do the retail credit cards, whatever. But as long as they're in positive standing, you're paying on time, and if it's reports every month, it's going to help you. At the same time, you got to make sure you pay your bills on time, because one missed payment, one late payment, 30 days late, can knock you down 100 points. So that's how this game goes, right?
Yeah. So, bro, I know, like, there's some young man, some young woman that's watching this, and you've probably lit a fire in them. You've inspired them, because it even inspires me, because every guest, Erica will tell you, Coach will tell you, that every guest we have, it's an inspiration, right? Because we get the behind the scenes of the entrepreneurship journey and what got them to this point. So even for you, right, for that person that's watching, and they're hearing that, it's like, oh my goodness, that's it. I want to help too. What are some of the challenges to this point, or the everyday challenges that you face in doing what you do, and really helping people? Because what I love is if you would share, to kind of a compound question, if you would share your mission, because I love what your mission is, and then talk about maybe some of the challenges that you face, like the day to day and what you do.
Yeah, so my mission is to help people to achieve excellent credit, to become debt free, to increase their income, and to hit their biggest financial goals that they have. Right?
Mm,
Most people's biggest financial goals is I want to get the house of my dreams. I want to be debt free, get the house of my dreams. I want to have time freedom, things of that nature. Right? You can't do that. You can't do that with a bunch of debt, first off, right? And it's very, very hard to pull this off a bad credit unless you're just a millionaire, billionaire. Other than that, you're always going to be stuck, right? For instance, it's people walking, like you see it on every day on Instagram. It's people who show cash, 10,000, 20,000 bucks, right? And so I asked somebody like, okay, do you own a home? No, I don't. Okay, cool. Do you want to own a home? Yeah, I do. Because not everybody wants to own. That's cool. It's your own personal preference, right? Now, if you want to own a home, and we talking about a house that costs 200,000, 250,000, right? Some places that's not even a nice home, depending on where you live, right? But let's
hmm
just say 250,000, you walk around 20 grand, right? You don't have any credit, but you have bad credit, right? This 20,000 that you got, it might get you in the door with a down payment, but they want to know, where's the rest of this money coming from?
Mhm.
You don't have a track record, like you don't have a credit report, you don't have any credit, or you got bad credit. So it's either you are not on paper as being a good paymaster, which you have bad credit, or you're not on paper at all and you have zero credit. So they might take the 20,000 and say, okay, that's your down payment, but how can we guarantee that you can pay the rest of this money? Right? What's your credit score? You got a 400? We're not going to approve you. That's $250,000. Where the rest of the 230,000 will come from when you couldn't pay the
Yeah.
old cable bill or the old cell phone bill, or when you late paying your car payments? Right? Where's the rest of this money going to come from? We can't guarantee it. If you don't have a credit report, they're looking like, okay, how we know you're going to pay us anything? Right? On paper, you don't have a track record of paying anything. So you're giving us 20,000. We can't give you this house. It's too much. It's too much at stake. Right? So you have to have some credit to get in that to get those dream homes, or to get those opportunities. Another thing I tell people a lot, to be in a position to take advantage of opportunities. Right? When COVID hit, everybody thought the world was over. Oh, it's just over with. Now the interest rates dropped so low, people who were in a position with cash and credit, they were buying everything on the real estate market.
Definitely.
I mean, it was on fire. It's still kind of on fire. It was on fire. It went crazy. And so now it's other people who don't have cash or credit, and they want to buy a home. They're like, I'm trying to buy this house. And these people they putting up 25,000 over the asking price, 30,000 over the asking price. They're in a position to win.
It's
Whether it's cash
happening
or credit.
everywhere, guys. It's happening everywhere. I'm sorry,
Yep.
Mr. Hakeem.
No, you good. You good.
Because I got a couple of clients. It's thousands over. Okay. Back to
Yeah,
the show.
Right.
So it's like, okay, right now you might not want to buy a house right now, but you want to buy one in the future. You might not want to buy a car right now, but you might want to in the future. You might not want it. You might not even have your eyes set on doing anything in the near future. However, when the opportunity presents itself, it's good to be in a position to go ahead and take advantage of it, and not try to just chase it when it's too late, right? Because at this point right here, while the real estate market is going crazy, you're like, oh, I need to work on my credit, and I need this done overnight. It's not going to happen. You missed it, and now you got to wait for it to happen again.
Definitely.
So that's some of the importance and why I like to push this. To answer your question, though, some of my challenges with helping people, the biggest challenge is, I'm gonna say, education, right? Because one of the sayings that I love, I learned this from Grant Cardone, I'm one of his students, is that price is only an issue in the absence of value, right? Most people don't believe that working on their credit is valuable, or valuable enough to pay for help, no matter how big or small a number is, because they can't hold it. It's not a t-shirt. It's not a hat.
hmm
It's not a phone, right? I don't get to put it on and see myself in it, anything like that. So since it's not a product that you could hold, touch, smell, eat, something like that, they just put it on the back burner. Oh yeah, I do it later. I do it later. So it's like, okay, first I need to educate you on what this is and why you need it. I need to educate you on how important this is and why you need to go ahead and start working on it now to, like I say, be in a position to take advantage of opportunities. This is one of the biggest thing, hands down, because people like to procrastinate and people just put things off. I was sitting in a restaurant one time. I talked to this lady probably 3 months prior. I was sitting in a restaurant eating lunch. My phone started blowing up. I'm like, who's calling me? And I seen it was the same number just calling me, blowing my phone up. So I called her back. Okay, hey, how you doing? What's going on, man? Like everything okay? I gotta move. I gotta hurry up and make a move. So I went and applied for this apartment. They said everything is good, but I got a collections on my credit report. They're not gonna approve me if I don't get this taken care of. I said, okay. So let me tell you something. It's not gonna happen overnight. So you might miss that train. Right. Now, if we had started a couple months ago when we were supposed to start, you could have been in the position. Now, what you can do is you can tell them that you're working on it. It's not a guarantee they're gonna hold that for you. Yeah, she lost out on the apartment. So that's one of the biggest. It's the education, is the pushing people to understand like how important this is and why. And if somebody really understands that, that's when they want to start getting it fixed. And you don't really do that until people hit like late 20s, 30 years old, and they're like, oh, I'm gonna take it serious.
Yeah.
Man, the education, like you said, starting. I think that's one of the biggest things a lot, that we put things off so long and just say, I'm gonna get to it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm speaking for myself too. I know that's a big thing for a lot of entrepreneurs looking at it. We sometimes have so many tasks. And then think about her as a mom, may have been a single mom or just that had a lot of things going on. And we miss those tasks until they're right in front of us. So it's very important, you guys, to go ahead and get those things done. So when they come knocking, you are ready for that opportunity when it's there. So thank you for sharing and just providing all that information, man. It has been so many gems as always. We know we're going to have you to come back on and get more, because I know a lot of people are really going to be knocking your door down about that adding an apartment. I got several clients that I know that,
right,
like ASAP. And like, look, I'm paying now. And I think that's a huge thing. And I'm thankful for that. And it's actually a system. And I personally just want to get more information from you, because I too was that person before I got my house, was paying for an apartment, but didn't know that could happen. On it. And even more of that, you have a lot of people that are really struggling to get things better for themselves and their family, but don't know there's opportunities like yours.
Right.
Those places where they're paying that apartment on time, they're doing everything they can, but they still not there to say, I can get a mortgage or a loan for a house. And that just cherished my heart with some of those people, because I know a lot of people that I'm working with, and they're just like, they're still not there. So having some added will be great. So to conclude that, if you have someone that's like yourself, being an entrepreneur, a young male, or even young woman, that's like, look, I've been through problems, I've been through situations, I may have been through prison, I may have been through, some other domestics or anything that may have happened to me. I want to be an entrepreneur, but I keep having failures or lessons that I'm learning. I want to give up. What would be the words you want to tell them based on your path of life? Look, they can get there.
Based on my path, this is how I look at things, right? Because I had a lot of failures too, right?
Yeah.
One thing you got to realize, if you look at the most successful people in the world, they've had a lot of failures, right? They didn't get there just overnight. It might look like that on social media, but they didn't just get there overnight. When you research the most successful people, they've had tons of failures, right? Until they got to that success. So failure is part of the journey. That's how you start to learn. That's how you get the tough skin. That's how you get that muscle to keep going. It's going to happen, right? That's how you get that determination to keep pushing. Because if you get to the top and you get one failure and you fold, your whole empire crumbles. So you got to build this thing. Rome wasn't built overnight. It's literally a building process. And another thing that I like to do, I look at people like this, man. If that person could do it, I can do it too.
Yeah.
It's just that simple for me. Like, I look at anybody like, what makes them so different from me? We're both people. Only thing is, they obviously know something, or they know somebody that I don't know. But if they can do it, I can do the same thing,
Definitely.
right?
I love it.
So I would say that, like, you just have to go through the failures, and you have to look at things like, listen, these people are no different. They got the same opportunity as me. I have the same opportunity as them. I just have to have the determination, and I have to push. And you need motivation. Some
Yeah.
people motivate themselves, some can't. However, I can motivate myself, but I also need outside motivation sometimes. Right? Sometimes you got to talk to people. You got to be around people like you two are together. You've been knowing each other for a while. You got to be around like-minded people who
Yes.
can help motivate you and push you in the right direction. Because most people that you know will tell you don't do it. Oh, you're crazy.
Man, come on. Come on.
Yeah,
You can say that again, bro.
yeah. That's gonna happen when you're an entrepreneur, man. Business person,
Yes,
like whatever,
sir.
man. It's gonna happen, man. People gonna tell you, man, oh, just go get a real job. Go get a regular job.
Woo!
You know?
That's why I'm around Mike, and I want to be, rich and a billionaire like Mike, because he's just awesome. So I'm trying to be like,
Look, it's all listen, bro. When you said that, and what just in this moment, what we're talking about, when you said that, I think that's so important, man, because I was just doing a podcast interview this past weekend, and I was saying how we're in this digital age, this
Mhm.
social media age, this
Mhm.
age of the information age, where it's so easy to look at everybody else, right, and to scroll and get lost in, oh my God, this house, this car, they're doing that, and
Mhm.
even for people watching this interview to understand and hear, working on your credit and the things that's important to get to that point, and it can be overwhelming. And
Yeah.
so, what you are saying now, and what Erica was saying, I tell people all the time, I don't even say circle. Check your circle. That's cool. But 2 points of a circle may never meet. I say check your web. It's those people who you're intertwined with, that you're gonna meet, connect with, all that stuff. So again, another reason why I love this, man, and just you sharing that, I appreciate you for saying that, because I think, even going back to how you said the education, like I talk to my mentees and my younger coaching clients all the time, and I say, listen, what are you feeding yourself? They
Mhm.
say, well, coach, I eat. No, 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 no. What are you feeding? What are you feeding yourself? What are you fueling yourself with? Like you talked about the motivation. So if you want to be this, what are you watching? What are you listening to? So I appreciate that, man. Bro, you said something, right? Because this is so awesome. I know Erica feel the same way I do. Like, man, we can talk about this all
All
day.
day.
This is
It,
my life. I love it. I talk about this all day
It's
long.
amazing.
yeah.
It's amazing. And even your positivity and your approach to it, man, and how smooth it is, easy for people to understand. So you said something earlier. You say you just released your ebook. So I want you to take a moment to, like, let people know how they can find you, and releasing that, and anything else that you may have that people need to get in contact with.
Got you. So, I released the ebook, my first one, right, about understanding personal credit. It's very easy to follow. I made it simple so anybody can understand it, to the point where before I had credit, I needed to read, very simple so I could understand it, right? Real life situations, and I gave you the whole breakdown with resources. My personal website is www.hakimmustafa.com. I brand my name because being an entrepreneur, man, I'm a businessman. Like Jay-Z said, I'm not a
I'm
businessman,
a
I'm a
I'm a
businessman.
businessman. Yes.
So it's HakimMustafa.com. It's HakimMustafa.com. You could go on there, you'll see my ebook. It's the only product on my site. And my site really is just information right now. It's the only product, it's free right now. You can just download it. Boom, you have it. I want very honest feedback about it, because I'm gonna be releasing other things as well. But I put that out there because I know people need a resource, and they don't want to read just a bunch of, you read stuff and got all these words you don't know. It's like, oh, it's frustrating.
Yeah.
So I made sure I did that on purpose, made sure really easy. My Facebook is Hakim Mustafa. You can follow me on there. You can catch me on there. That's why I found Erica. And then that's where we connected. And my IG is Hakim_building leaders. And the reason I chose building leaders is because I want to build leaders in our communities in the financial space, because it's needed.
Mm-hmm.
And the more leaders we have in the financial space in our communities, the better our communities will be. We'll know how to make money. We'll know how to use money, how to invest money. You know, it's money. It's really a money game.
Mhm.
And so back to what you were saying, you know, you have mentees and you're a coach, right? When I got out of prison, I didn't know anything about having a mentor or anything like that. So when I started like learning and just continue to grind, I ran into Grant Cardone online somehow, and ever since then I've been in his community.
Yeah.
And in his community is a lot of great people. So his training and what he gives, what he teaches is amazing.
Mhm.
So it's no fluff. It's no fluff at all. He's raw. That's why I love him. But in his community, you meet a lot of like-minded individuals, people who want to do better, people who want to learn. It's a lot of motivation, a lot of positivity. When I linked with Erica online, and she was like, "I got a podcast," I'm like, "Man, what?"
Right.
Podcasts are I learned so much from podcasts myself. So when she said that, I was like, I have to get on that. I got value. I just want to add somebody to the community. And I told her I love connecting with new people online because you never know who you're
Mhm.
gonna meet.
Right.
You,
Yeah.
you never know. It's amazing who you meet online when you really take time to talk to people and you know you see what they got going on. Hey, how can I support you? What can I do to support your business or whatever you got going on? And when you start forming those friendships, man, with people of like minds all around the country, you start to have an amazing group of friends.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah,
for real.
exactly.
And he did that, so we definitely thank you for just doing that. I thank you for being a blessing and blessing to so many people as well. Because as he said on Facebook, I definitely dig in and watch and get information from him. As always, because we always can learn from different people. So we definitely thank you for just blessing the stage on Talkers First Duels, because that's what it's all about, doing it. And you are
Yeah.
definitely an example of someone that is doing it and did it. It like you said, he was talking about Grant Cardone, no fluff. You specifically talked about your past, and this is what you're doing now. So, we totally thank you for just coming on and telling the people. We're so excited, and we're already pouring that we want people, give them a call, talk to them, ask questions, even if it's something that wasn't on here, or you need to reflect back, ask, and especially I'm definitely gonna get the free ebook, to get that information. Like you said, get that, take advantage of. We always say it's nothing there for us or no one is helping us, but he specifically said he have a free ebook for you to follow that guideline. So definitely take advantage of that. Thank you so much. I'm always blessed anyway, you guys, when I'm able to get on a podcast and have some amazing kings. So I love to give a shout out to my kings for being on here. Thank you guys for being on here and just blessing. Yes, yes, yes. And last not least, I gotta represent Youth Talk United. I'm blessed to be a part of a great organization
You
along
talk.
with me being the founder. But as y'all see, I ran in, and we was blessed today with all the housing authorities in Birmingham City to actually represent and be a volunteer and talk and mentor them. So I definitely told the young guys I was going to shout them out on the podcast. And prayerfully that they actually get on the podcast, because they asked me a lot of questions, even though they was in middle school, but we don't know. But
Oh,
I hope they do. So, guys, if you guys listening, you guys are amazing. I had a great time with you guys today. Please take this on from another young black male telling you how he struggled, but he still made a way. So you guys can do it too. So, as always, we don't just talk about it, we actually do it. Y'all have a great day, and we'll see you on the next episode.
I appreciate it.
Peace.